Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Original Art Hour, episode number 34. My guest tonight is going to be Scott Hoarders Hide. Please, if you are watching live, hit that thumbs up button if you can, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you're watching on the Rewind, I appreciate you. Rewind viewers, please hit the thumbs up button if you can. I do appreciate it, and leave a comment after the show. Let us know what you thought of the show. Full disclosure, I'm not feeling 100% tonight, so just bear with me. But wanted to proceed with the show because usually my schedule is such a mess that if we didn't get it done today, I don't know when the show was going to be, and I didn't want to leave my buddy Scott hanging here. Both he and I prepared pretty decently to get this show going. So thank you for watching, and let me bring in my guest right now, Scott Hoarders Hide. What's up, brother?
Oh, just waiting to get all this art out into everybody's eyeballs.
Hell yeah, man. So look, before we get into like all of your background as far as collecting comics and artwork and all that, I just wanted to say you've been on YouTube now for a little bit. You're on Instagram. So Hoarders Hide, that's your handle, I think, on both. And yes. If you're not familiar with Scott and Hoarders Hide and his content, the links to his YouTube and his Instagram are in the description below. So make sure you guys go sub up to his YouTube channel, please, and go follow him on Instagram. And he's not a shy guy, so hit him up.
Sure.
But thanks again for doing the show and joining the crew, man. I'm excited to have you. And let's go ahead and say a quick hello to the chat, and then we'll get into the show, man. That's how we do here. We had Unruly Simeon here first. What's up, brother? We got Simply Incredible Podcast in the house. What's going on? Ruben the Collector. Thank you, brother. We got my buddy Jeff Wedding. What's going on, Jeff? Magic Lasso, a regular here in the house and part of the crew, of course. Good to see you always. Ryan, we got Carlos Mo. What's going on, Carlos? Good to see you, brother. We got Joey Bagus Sevens. What's up? Happy Friday indeed. Let's see. Who else is in the chat here? StreamYard's always messing up on me. We got Simon Mad Spidey catching the show live all the way from down under. I think that was that accurate. Was that a good accent? I don't know.
It was close enough for me.
Yeah, close enough for right. There you go. We got Sam I Am Comics. What's up, Sam? Good to see you, brother. All right, so I think that covers it for now. We'll say hello to anybody who pops in. So Scott, man, let's start with you and your background here. How did you get? He says close enough, mate. So how did you get into comic art, comics, whatever, however you want to tell your origin story? I'll give the floor to you.
I probably, like most people, just realized one day that it was possible to own a piece of original art and thought I'd look for one. Back in the infancy of eBay.
Right. So like late 90s, early 2000s, or?
Probably more like mid 90s.
Okay.
Whenever eBay started. I mean, I was, so whatever that was, 96, 97 at the latest, probably.
Right.
I should have kept better records.
No worries, dude. I think that gives us a good idea of your time frame collecting here, 20 plus some odd years.
But
right?
Off and on, I get bored easily, so I went hot and heavy into it for 5-6 years, and then maybe took 10 years off.
Raul's in the house. I think he's commenting on the craziness behind you here of all your comics and everything you got.
That my favorite comment so far was from Kenny Caps. He said it reminded him of when they took the Lost Ark of the Covenant and hit it at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, you got a lot of treasures. You got a lot of treasures in your setup. That's for damn sure. And if you haven't checked Scott's channel out, he's got a lot of like tech bells and whistles too. I've never seen more cameras and angles and like just literally like bells and whistles on a YouTube channel than Hoarders Hide. So definitely go check out his content.
And someday I'll learn how to use them all.
Right. Well, that's what it's all about. It's about experimenting, having fun with this stuff, you know. All right. Well, cool, man. I think we don't really need much more of a preamble. I think we can start getting into the art hour here.
That's what they want to see.
Yeah, that's what people want to see. That's usually what makes this show happen here. So let's start with your first piece. I'm going to go find this slide here. And we do have other ways to view the artwork tonight, which is something new, I guess, because Scott's so tech forward here. Like he's prepared. But we're going to start with the slides. But if you guys want any other close-ups, just request in the chat or something. But this is an awesome first piece, I got to say, man. This is cool.
Again, this is a piece I got. I wish I remembered when. This is the cover study that Greg Hildebrandt did.
Right, the prelim, essentially, right? The prelim.
Correct. Yeah. For the cover to Spectre number 11. And I wish I could remember more details, how much I paid and all that good stuff, but I was a huge Spectre fan.
Oh, that's okay. We don't even usually share that kind of stuff here. It's about the appreciation of the art here.
I was a huge Spectre fan and a huge Valiant fan. So when I started looking for artwork, initially, that's what I looked for, was anything Spectre related or anything Valiant related. So, you know, all I know is the original finished production cover is still for sale somewhere with a $40,000 price tag on it. Wow, like most of Hildebrandt's covers.
Yeah, you know, I'd love me a Star Wars Hildebrandt. You know, I'm a Star Wars guy, but I don't think that's going to really be in my wheelhouse anytime soon, honestly. You know.
Again, this is something I just recently had framed. I've had this in a binder for 20 plus years, 25 years probably at least. So
I'm going to add.
And decided it was time to display it.
So here we can get a little bit of a zoom up here on the just the OA here for everybody. But yeah, very cool.
Then
what is that writing below?
The notes at the bottom, those are his color notes, like cerulean, cobalt, white, whatever he's leaving for either for himself or for when it goes to production.
Ruben's sharing some knowledge here. He's saying it's a prelim, but for paintings, they're more commonly referred to as color comprehensives or color comps for short. Okay, I didn't even know that. So that's good knowledge. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, this is really cool, man. Very, very cool piece. And you have it hanging up, or do you just have it framed awaiting a spot?
No, that one's actually hanging. I've been doing good at clearing wall space here recently.
Good. All right. I don't know. Did you want to do your view thing? I don't know if we want to mess with that, but
no, that's fine with me unless somebody wants to see a different angle of it.
I'll put up the slide one more time just so we can sort of do a study versus published cover comparison here a little bit. But big fan of that one, dude. And when I saw you, also, you know, I got to give you props, as I was telling you backstage. You're the first guest to ever give me a spreadsheet with all the information on the art, you know, like the year, the title, the artist, of course, any other notes about the piece. Very helpful, very useful, even though you're talking about the art, and that's not necessarily me. It's still cool to have that information in advance while prepping for these shows. So
I know how hard it is to host something, and the more firepower you have ahead of time, the easier it makes your job. 100
on that. So let's move on here. We'll go to piece number 2. Although I'm seeing some more comments in here. Yeah, it does kind of have a 70s feel to it. Yep. Unruly's back in the house saying, damn, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, that's a great starting out piece, man.
Yeah, 93 is when that issue came out. So that's roughly when he would have done that.
Right. All right, let's go to piece number 2. Let me pull this up. This is your second one.
Right, and this is actually my newest piece in my collection. Yeah, officially newest in hand. I think there's some in transit, but this is the newest in hand. The NAM, it's from issue 30. 1989, page number 13. The artist on this was Wayne Van Sant, and Jeff Isherwood was the inker.
Nice.
And that's whose signature is down there at the bottom on this one.
I noticed you posted like almost like a full run of this on Instagram or something, the comics, right?
And that's what spurred me to get this, to get any page from the series. Was I've always kind of been a fan of the series, and I picked up the full run with both of the second printings. And anyways, I had the full run. I thought, well, it'd be nice to have a piece of artwork from it. So I did a little bit of looking. I found several, and this one just kind of jumped out at me. Just the use of shadows in this one is, I think, what drew me to it.
So I'm giving us a little bit of a close-up here on it for everybody. Yeah, great shadow.
Yeah, why don't you let me...
Oh, you have your thing?
Yeah.
We got so many bells and whistles tonight, guys. I warned you. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Got a full.
But yeah, just the shadows on this is what the shadows on the face. It's shadows all around.
Unruly is saying there was a moment in the 80s when the NAM was the hottest book going.
I wasn't collecting at that point. I don't remember it, sadly, but
thanks, Lasso. We're trying this out here with the whole zoom in and other views for people. You know, getting a little bit of a different perspective on some of these, especially some of these black and white pieces, because you know, when you get up close and personal on those, you can sort of, oops, let me. There we go. Are we back? Yeah, there we go. When you get up close and personal on those, and with the zoom, I think you can really appreciate the finer points of the talent, the detail on it. So we like doing it. Jeff Wedding saying that's a sharp NAM page. Yeah, hey, don't mess up your workday on my behalf, Jeff. there's always the rewind, you know. Ruben saying, I remember how hot it was when it first came out. Perfect timing as Marvel was capitalizing on all the attention that the Vietnam War was getting in movies and television. Okay, that makes sense.
So I haven't read that issue yet, so I really don't know what's going on in it. I haven't finished the series. I actually didn't realize how long the series was until I finished the run. But
you have the full run, so you got it.
I have the full run, yeah, on floppy, so I can.
Simon's like pushing back, saying this is too tech forward for him. He just likes. You got the pages too, right there, right? Like you could do that.
I have the majority of them, yeah. So I could pull them up old school.
What's up, Funk Comics 814 in the house? Good to see you, Funk. All right, well, great first two pieces. Let's go right into the third piece.
All right, here's another. This is a theme you've seen maybe a couple more times. It's something from a Spectre page.
You're a big Spectre guy.
Huge Spectre fan. So this was from issue 14, 1994, page 5. Mm-hmm. Artist on this was Joe Phillips. He did, art in ink, pencil van ink. And I want to say this is probably the first splash page I ever bought. I'm not positive on that, cool. But I think it is. And I mean, it was cool for a lot of reasons, but it's just, it was a character other than the Spectre in the Spectre books, and it was a splash page. So I just had to have it.
I don't know what PCR stands for in this question, saying the water looks like PCR inks. Is it?
Yep, got me on that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that. Maybe that's shorthand for a name, but I'm just not recalling the name PCR. What's up, Knights of Old in the house? Yeah, definitely a sweet splash page, man. Nice first splash page. Yes, Joe Phillips was the artist on this one, right? Oh, he was saying P. Craig.
Oh.
Craig Russell. Okay, gotcha. That's what PCR. Okay.
Yeah, and I've just learned recently about the ghost artist ghosting. Mm-hmm. And I always, so now it makes me wonder every time I pick up a page whether really the artist it's attributed to, or was it ghosting being done? But unless somebody comes forward and admits to it, you'll never know.
Here's my zoom in, if that's useful. I don't know. You could see it a little. You could probably see it a little bit better here than you could on the slide. Anyway. All right, let me switch out here back to this, and then did you want to do your zoom in, or we can just move on to the next piece? It's up to you.
Camera 4. I just have to remember what camera I'm on.
All good. Take your time. Cool.
Yeah, all these lovely DC characters that nobody cares about.
Look at those teeth, man. It almost reminds me a little bit of like the Green Goblin-ish, a little bit in a way. But, you know, I'm not trying to make parallels between Marvel and DC on these two characters, but yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. Michael, if I won that AF-15, I wouldn't be hosting a YouTube show on a Friday night, brother. You know what I mean? All right. Well, that is sweet. Hold on. I got to get Scott back in here. Man, a lot of button pushing going on tonight. All right. Yeah, that was a sweet splash, right? Ruben's saying that ghosting was far more prevalent in newspaper comic strips, Scott, so don't worry about it. It's highly unlikely that anything you own was ghosted. So very, very cool. Thanks for sharing that knowledge. All right, let's move on to the fourth piece. I really dig this one. This one's framed, and I got a close-up on the right here of the just, you know, kind of the piece out, you know, in and around the matting. What's this one?
This is Joseph Michael Lindner, his character Death from the Dawn series, and this was a back cover to Dawn 3 Tiers issue number 1. Lindner was one of my, when it came to artists, it was Lindner. When it came to characters, it was Spectre and about anything Valiant. So that was where my collecting lied.
What's up, Carlito? Good to see you.
I didn't give my first Lindner piece. This is actually my first Lindner published piece, and I didn't get that until this year. So, and I've been a Lindner fan since the 90s. Since
you said this was a back cover, right?
Correct, back cover.
Nice. I don't have any back covers. I think that's kind of a cool category that not a lot of people have an example of a back cover in their collections, I actually have 2 of his back covers. I have another one that's in the frame shop right now. Oh, nice, dude.
And then some other just published pieces that were, he did a lot of pinups, so I don't have any of his panel pages, unfortunately, but I've got a lot of his published pinups.
Nice, Jeff. Oh, Simon's got a Lindner MJ. Nice, you definitely got to show that.
I've seen a couple of them up on eBay.
Speaking of Lindner, there's actually a live claim sale tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern on the Comic Art Live channel with Lindner. I don't know if you're aware of that, Scott, but there's he's going to be live on Comic Art Live at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, and you can buy art from him direct.
Really?
Yeah, so that's tomorrow. So talk about good timing here. So you have the chance to buy more Lindner art tomorrow live.
I'll have to get the details on that from you.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link later.
And he actually did the hardcover for Overstreet this year. I just randomly saw it the other day.
Cool.
So that's the first Overstreet I bought. No,
Carlito, I did not get that AF-15. This is going to be a running joke now, isn't it? Yeah, he's selling 15 to 20 pieces tomorrow. Knights is asking what materials are used in this, and I'll do a. Here we go.
He's got a term for it. It's mixed media. He uses oil, airbrush, ink, pencil, marker. I think that's it. I think he uses those 5 different mediums on almost every piece he does.
Nice.
In fact, when I took it in to get framed, the guy at the frame shop thought it was a print because he could see what he thought were dots in it from a printing process. And I'm like, no, that's the airbrush. And I actually had to flip it over so he could see the bleed through on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd never seen anything like it.
It's a really cool piece. All right, let's move to the next piece here. I think we're making a pretty good pace here for what we plan on showing tonight. This is piece number 5.
Again, sticking with the Spectre theme.
Yeah, no, this one's badass.
Yeah, it's a piece from Legends of the DC Universe, issue 34, page 22. The artist was Michael Zulli, and Vincent Locke was the inker. Again, this was around 2000, and this one, I remember getting this one. This was right around the time I was almost done collecting and bored and moving on to whatever my next favorite pastime was. So, but yeah, it's another one of those pieces when you, for me anyways, when I first saw it, I just would stare at it. Mm-hmm. And I know when that happens, it's a piece you have to have in your collection.
Yeah, dude. All of us art collectors know that feeling. There's a close up here that I got on the full page. Very cool.
And this is one for the longest time I had to keep looking it up, because when you read, the writing at the top, I like looking at it right now, unless I knew what it was, I had to have no idea what that title was.
Right. Yeah, it looks like Lotta Duo.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could read that a lot of ways, but it's Legends of the Universe. And once you know, then now you can see it.
Yeah. Here's Scott's comic boxes in all their glory, Knights.
Yeah.
I think he's officially the king of the long boxes behind him of the community. By far.
Just cracked 16,000 the other day.
Oh my God. All right, let's move on to the next piece. We are going on to piece number 6, and this one's pretty striking image here.
Most people probably heard of Drew Zucker, from Canto.
Yep. What's up,
but this is a piece he did. He had a book called The House, and it's about a group of World War II soldiers who basically wind up in a haunted house. And this is a page towards the end of the series. But I saw somebody else pick up one of his Canto pages. And I didn't really know anything about Canto.
Comic Man Andy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was on that live stream when he picked up the piece, and Drew Zucker joined us live on that stream. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. So I saw that, and I zipped over to his page and started looking around, and these jumped out at me when I read what the story was about, and the pages he had available. So I think I bought 4 of his pages, but this is just, one I decided to show today. This particular character got attacked by whatever the zombies were, and after he saves the rest of his buddies, he shoots himself in the head to keep from turning into, the zombies or whatever these other creatures are. So It is a powerful image right there, but for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know the story, you'd think it was like a suicide picture, but which I guess
True.
technically it is, but it's, he was basically already dead because he was half zombified.
Right. It's comics. It's
exactly.
All right. Well, that one's certainly unique for sure.
That was from 2018. He actually did that again for the House, which was a 6-issue series, and it got printed in a graphic novel form. Now, I think there was a Kickstarter version, maybe, but I'm not positive about that one. But you can still get the graphic novel off of his website. It's actually pretty good read.
Cool. Okay, moving right. We're zipping right along here. Love it. Loving the pace. This is your 7th piece. Explain this one.
Showcase 100, 1978. Issue, page 30. Joe Staton, however the hell you pronounce his name.
I say Staton, but I really don't know what's correct. So I think
yeah.
Ruben's the pronunciation expert in our art community, so he'll probably correct us in the chat. But
so it's Joe Staton art. It is. It's another, again, it's one of those pieces. I looked at it on eBay and I'm like, yeah, that's a nice piece. Spectre and every other character that's on there.
I mean, that's a lot of characters they're all well rendered. It's such a great page.
And the cool thing, I mean, I should remember the date, but I can remember I was in Vegas when I bought this on eBay, but I remember it because it was the day they did the detonation on the Desert Inn, the first detonation. They actually did that in stages, but I had to wake up early because it was an odd ending time, and I could actually hear the charges going off while I was putting in my final bid on this.
Wow.
So pre-auction sniper days, I think.
Yeah. I wish I was into original art back then, but I think I was probably, just a teenager or whatever.
And at the time, I know you're not into prices on this, but this was probably the most expensive piece I bought.
It's not that I'm not into it. It's just not my focus. If you
Right.
want to talk about prices, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the actual price. I just remember I was, I was pretty leery because of how much it cost me at the time.
Right. Well, it certainly would cost you a lot more now. So
probably, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, more than probably. It would.
Yeah.
It would. Especially for a page with this many main DC characters all on one page like this. It's just a great page.
Yeah, I think it was probably $500.
Okay, yeah, you're not getting this for $500.
Yeah, which back then was a lot of money for a piece of art for me.
Sorry, Simon. Sorry, Simon. Unruly's asking who inked it. Was it just all Joe?
It was all Joe. Yeah,
all Joe.
It was Bob Oda did, or Ben Oda was a letterer, but yeah, it was all Joe.
Oh, I think this is a first where Ruben doesn't actually know for sure 100% what the pronunciation is. He's personally said it, I guess, Staton, but yeah. That's a few grand today. That's what I would have pegged it at. Yeah, for sure. Great piece. Great piece. All right, let's move on. This is a color piece, a little bit of a change in direction. And this one's also, I think, a little bit of a mystery.
Right.
That maybe somebody out there can help solve the mystery, but explain it.
All right. This I actually got this in a big lot. It wasn't a piece I intentionally bought, but it's growing on me. It's by Greg Dark One Williams. And it's his character. He did the Animal Mystic series. In like late 80s, early 90s. And it's his Queen Jatari character from that series. That's all I know about it. I don't know if it was a published piece, if it was a pinup piece in a book, if it was a pure commission. Mm-hmm. Other than it's from 2000 and it's by Greg Williams.
So it may or may not be published, and but so you don't know necessarily what it's from, but you know the artist.
No, I mean it's extremely high quality piece.
Great piece.
Yeah, although it's one of those things. I mean, I joke about it a little bit with a couple people I know. She say she's got old lady hands, and a little bit of body dysmorphia going on there in the armpit. But that's just because I've been staring at it so long. I'm picking these things out now. But
right.
But I still, again, I joked about it at first, and I actually took it out of a frame to put it in the binder because it was already framed when I bought it. But I may end up.
Simon's saying it looks like it could be one of his art book pieces, so maybe that's a starting point to figure it out.
Yeah, I thought it might be a pinup piece, but I haven't been able to come across of any of his art books.
Right.
You know, he was tied in with Lindner somehow. They were same publishing company for a while. I think he published her under Lindner's Cry for Dawn, a CFD for a while. So cool. There's a tie there.
All right. Well, anybody out there watching this on the rewind or whatever, or anybody who's watching live who might stumble across any other information on that piece later, let us know.
Yeah, definitely reach out to me if you know anything about that particular piece.
Here's the next one.
All right. Again, huge Valiant fan.
Right.
And came across this Exo Man of War piece. This is for issue 15, page 13. The Bart Sears art. Randy Elliott was the inker on this. This is one of the first 2 pieces I ever bought. I'm not sure if this one is a first or second. And it's one I
Sears, right? You said Sears.
It's Bart Sears. Yep. From 93.
And Randy Elliott on inks, not Andy
Elliott.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy Elliott.
Close enough, exactly.
So, and this is the piece I actually decommissioned. I had this framed right after I bought it, but back in the day when I had less art, more wall space, I had room to put the page and the book and then the color page all in a big, huge frame and take up 3 acres of wall space. And that's just not the case anymore. So, I broke it out. Side note, I'm a huge dinosaur fan, which is why I was
me too, man. I love this.
Huge dinosaur. Whenever I see a dinosaur piece, regardless of the title, I usually buy it.
It's awesome.
But yeah, I just love Bart's work on his Valiant runs, and the detail in this was just, and this at the time I didn't have any covers, and this is really close to what the cover looked like. Mm-hmm. It almost like he swiped the cover a little bit.
Cover scene page, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. He swiped the cover a little bit on an interior.
Awesome. All right. Let me pull this out and get us back. Let me get this off the screen here. Piece number 10. Another color piece.
Yeah, and this one I wish I texted Menton to find out what the page number was because I can't for the life of me remember now. But this is a piece by Menton, Menton III, from Silent Hill Past Life.
So is this a comic related to the video game, or is it something different?
Silent Hill has a bunch of different titles out.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm not familiar with the video game.
Okay, because when I hear the word Silent Hill, I think the horror video game series that that's kind of similar to Resident Evil, but like a slightly different vibe.
And it could be. This was published by IDW. And kind of a long story short on this, I was buying stuff from Menton through Kickstarter, through the there was a little triumvirate of artists doing stuff, and they were always constantly behind on things. And one of the things I bought was supposed to come with a commission, and he was really behind on things, and his manager at the time said, hey, he's behind, he doesn't know how long it's going to take, but if you want one of his pages from this book instead, we can do that. I'm like, yeah, that works for me. So this is, and I had no say in it, this is just what he picked out and sent to me. So, and we've been friends ever since. I probably have more artwork by him than anyone else at this point.
Very cool.
With the exceptions of a local artist, maybe. But
right. That's a cool piece. Yeah, I think I would imagine it's probably related to that video game. But yeah, it's a nice piece, man. I like the match specifically, like the lit match in that. Panel.
Yeah, and that's when I did the framing. There's a little bright orangish red.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed
matting.
You did the subtle, matching of the color
to try and draw you into it.
I do that too on color pieces when I get them custom framed. I love doing that.
You spend more time framing it than you
more
did
time
picking
and money
the piece out to buy.
Exactly. All right, we got your next piece. This is going back to some black and white art, and this is some interesting independent art. And I don't think anybody has ever shown a parody comic on my show before. I think this is a first, so this is pretty cool.
This is one of my bored eBay nights.
Right.
I'll get bored and I'll just sort by, ending soonest and look at art. And I saw this thing, and it was by artist Ben Dunn is the artist, and it's Extremely Silly Comics #1. The cover it was by Antarctic Press. And it is, to my knowledge, the first parody appearance of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if you notice in that top, let me...
Hold on, I'll go to the Zoom.
I'll pull mine up.
Oh, you want to do yours? Hold on.
Yeah.
We'll switch to you. Here. There you go.
So up here with the samurai penguins, we've got...
Oh, yeah.
You've got a turtle about, I think he is getting his head cut in half. So, but
this came out. This came out 2 years after TMNT started coming out on Mirage Studios.
1986.
Yeah, 86. Yeah.
So, and it's not the greatest quality. 65%. It must be the black tone.
No, it's cool though. It's never something I would have ever thought to even search for ever is like parody stuff, but it's cool that it exists. Hold on, sorry. Back to can't get his. Yeah, there you are. I'll show the slide one more time. Oh, no. Spoiler alert. There it is. But very cool, man. What's up, Biggie Shack in the house? Good evening. All right, so we are moving on to the piece I just accidentally spoiled here, number 12.
All right. This is a piece by Drew Moss from Vampirella Red Sonja. This came out last year, 2020. It was issue 9. Page 17, and Moss did ink and pencil. So he is, again, he's another artist. I was watching somebody's channel where they got a piece of artwork from him, a cover for something or other, and it was kind of cool. I thought, well, I'll go check him out, and I found 3 pieces on there. Actually found 4 pieces I was kind of interested in.
What's up,
and
Andy?
Hit him up on IG and message back and forth, and he was sending me color pictures, the finished pictures of them, because even on this one now, looking at it, it's busy. It's busy as hell.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to really tell what all is going on in there.
I will do the zoom in so maybe you can see a little bit closer what's going on here on this. Yeah, there.
So he sent me colors on everything, and he said, "Oh, by the way, I've got these few other ones that aren't on my website." And I ended up buying 3 from him. And when they showed up, he included this one, which was the 4th one I was interested in, but I told him I didn't want, and he just went ahead and threw it in for me.
Oh, so this was this was an AOK.
Right, an AOK from the artist, basically.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
And I bought. I'm getting ready to buy more from him. Yeah,
there it is.
He's doing. If anybody's seen it, the Red Sonja, Red, White, and Black, or Black, White, and Red series.
Yeah.
He's doing a one of the half runs in issue 4. So that's his next thing coming out.
Awesome.
And the artwork in general in that Black, White, and Red book is it's pretty neat.
Cool. Okay, we're gonna move on to this piece, which is a double page splash or spread. I mean, I guess it's a spread because there's some panels on here, but it's very splashy. It's pretty much a splash here, double page splash.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. X Factor 109. So page 2 and 3. From 94.
Super cool.
Jan Dersima.
Another great Star Wars artist.
Yeah, she's the artist. And Al Milgrom is the inker.
Mm-hmm. She personalized it there to you?
Yeah, and I bought a lot from her. It was one of the first cons I ever went to, again, in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. I can't remember. And she had a ton of artwork, and I was looking for Valiant art, which I got. I think I bought every piece of Valiant art she had on her, and then I started looking through the rest of her stuff, and I think I bought every splash page she had.
Right.
She might have had some Star Wars pages that I don't know if she would have been doing it back then, but I bought a ton of stuff from her. I got 3 different splashes, and like I said, every piece of Valiant art she had, at least one cover that I remember. Just was in love with her work.
I think in this case, the full page slide is better, honestly, because I don't know how much zooming you can really do on a double page splash of this kind. It's like it's just best seen the whole image.
And at the time, I mean, I was still learning things about things.
Right.
And the only reason I even found her at the convention, I mean, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was definitely a newbie when it came to conventions. Is I bought some stuff off of Mandrake, and I asked him if he did any had done anything for Valiant. I bought a bunch of Spectre pages from him, obviously, but asked him if he had any plans to do any stuff for Valiant. And he's like, "Oh no, but my wife did. She's out front."
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Who's
There
your
it
wife?
Dude, well, congrats on this one, because this one's pretty sweet, man.
So I tried to stop. She started to personalize them all, and I tried to stop her because I'm not big into personalizations on stuff, but
neither am I. Well, not on art. On comics, maybe a little bit, because it's not as rare, like that book. Like maybe depending on the book, though, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know a lot of artists do that. In fact, some people charge different prices. They'll personalize for cheaper than they will just to sign their name.
That's true.
Because they know you're not going to resell it.
Yeah, it cuts off the resale factor or value to it. Dude, killer stuff, man. We're headed here in the kind of the final third of your pieces. This is number 14. This is a Butch Geiss, right?
Exactly, Jackson Butch Geiss.
Yeah.
Eternal Warrior 48, page number 1, from 96. So it's the Geiss art. Steve Montano inks. I remember very little about this piece other than it was a splash I saw somewhere. I've got a lot of Geiss art, and I don't remember if I bought it all online or if I bought it from him at a con. So, but again, sticking with I was big into Valiant at the time.
That's right.
Just fit right in with my collection.
You and our buddy Daymers, who's been on the show and is part of the crew, are probably our biggest Valiant guys / Valiant OA specifically guys that we're all kind of friendly with here. But yeah, great example.
I like and really said the right page could have the entire Houston Astros lineup names on it, and it wouldn't bother him. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it takes a second for the comment to pop up for me, but very cool piece, man. All right, let's move on here. We got about 15 minutes left in the show. I think we can do this. Well, we can go a little bit over. That's totally fine. This is piece number 15.
Yeah.
Piece number 15.
This is a piece from Classics Illustrated Junior, issue 537 from 1957. This is the inside back cover.
So this is your other back cover.
Well, no, it's the inside
back cover. Okay, inside back.
Yeah, which is actually designed to be a coloring page for kids. And if you see at the top, it says "Color this picture with crayons." I should have pulled them out. I've got several of these issues now that I picked up, and I haven't found one yet that isn't at least partially colored. So this is the only uncolored version of this page I have. This Lynn Streeter is the artist. I had to do some research to find that. She did a couple of the stories within that issue, and she did this. I have another page or two from that issue. This isn't my oldest piece, but it's one I thought was pretty neat. I had a good story to it. I'm actually thinking about printing off copies of this to send to people and having like a coloring contest.
That's cool.
Maybe do that for a channel giveaway.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody doing something like that, quite like that. Yeah,
the Three Fairies was the title of this particular issue. That was the main story in it. Cool. And I was drawn to this one. Neat concept, old piece, and the price. I bought a bunch of old stuff off of an eBay seller from the 40s and 50s, and it was all priced right, and maybe one piece from the 60s. But
super cool.
I'm big into cheap. I'm a tight ass sometimes. So
that's frugal. Yeah, that's how you amassed, I think, the largest long box collection of anybody in the community beyond you.
Frugal, that's a better term.
There you go. All right, let's move on here. We got another color piece up next. I'm really digging this one. When you sent me the pic, I was like, wow, this one's cool.
Right. So this is actually again, this is by Benton III, again, my favorite artist. Mm-hmm. This is from Zombies versus Robots Adventures. Issue 1. It's actually a double page spread. It's 7 and 8, but he did the whole series in oil on panel. So everything he did for this series is painted panels. And I just,
it's great.
Randomly talking with him one night, say, hey, what do you got for sale today? And he's like, well, I'm moving. I got all these pieces. And I think I bought them out, but this is one of the pieces I got with it.
Give you a little bit of a zoom on certain areas here. We can kind of go left and right.
Yeah, if you go down to the bottom where he's smoking a cigar and the smoke drifting up past his eye, that's what really, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's money right there.
this particular storyline from this series was called Kampf, Kampf. So yeah, zombies versus robots.
Yeah, right. Holy F, that's effing badass.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much of his. I've got more of his published pieces, but he's a pretty big gallery artist, so I've got a lot of his gallery pieces. But I've got more of his, comic book related pieces. He just did Cradle of Filth series from Opus, and he did Chasing the Dragon.
Cool.
He did all the artwork on it.
Dude, yeah. I'm going to have to look more into that guy's artwork because I wasn't very familiar until you sent me the artwork. So and I was really pretty impressed with that piece in particular.
He did a lot of X-Files stuff with IDW. So.
Okay. Nice.
Ton of He did a ton of IDW work.
Carlito's a big X-Files fan. I was actually a huge X-Files fan growing up. I think I had all the DVDs of every season and religiously watched them and stuff like that.
I used to have the box set of all the episodes. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any of the IDW X-Files stuff, you probably already have his artwork then.
Me? Oh, if I have the comics, you mean? I don't have any of the comics.
Oh, you don't have any of the X-Files?
Yeah, with X-Files, I never really tracked down the comics per se. I wasn't really aware that there was comics, honestly, until recently. But I've been aware for a bit that they exist. I didn't know who the artist was or anything. But yeah, very, very cool. Thank you for exposing us to new artists that we may not have heard of. I always appreciate that. So this is the next piece.
This is one of my bargain basement pieces. That's really, really freaking cool. Again, bored one night looking through closing, ending soon auctions. And this is from Fallen Angel Reborn. Mm-hmm. Issue 1, page 9 from 2009. And the artist is J.K. Woodward.
Huh.
And it's like watercolor, all with some marker, I think. And I just $35 on eBay. I think it was $35 shipped. It may have been $25, and I mean it was cheap. It was less than $40 shipped. I know, and I just saw the piece. I'm like, that's a cool piece, and then I saw the price. I'm like, hell yeah! So I went and found the book. Again, I think you're kind of, it's an unwritten rule where if you own a piece of artwork, you have to have the book it came from.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of subscribe to that rule. I know some collectors don't care at all, though, which is I find odd because I have this kind of OCD level thing about it personally myself, just like you do, probably.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things in my collection that I just cannot locate the actual book or, trade paperback or anything for some of them. And it just drives me insane, honestly.
Some of them I only have trades, and that drives me nuts because I don't have the issue.
Like a part of me wants to sell those pieces off just because I don't have the corresponding.
I haven't hit that point yet. But.
I'm exact. It's a little bit of a hyperbole. But yeah, I mean, I prefer being able to appreciate the published example next to the artwork. As part of my enjoyment level of the art, but. Very cool. Very, very cool. Always nice to find art that you like and dig that's dirt cheap, I can't argue with that at all. All right, next piece.
Daryl Banks. Daryl Banks is the artist with Paul Neary as the inker. It's from JLA Spectre Soul War from 2003. This was issue 1, page 16. Then the Green Lanterns on the finished piece are all stats.
Right.
And on the right-hand side, where he drew the
right. So
the
not an overlay necessarily, Unruly, but it's the original art used for the stats on the left, right? It's like
right.
On the right is the original art for these particular characters on the page, and then on the OA page on the left, it's a stat copy version of the OA on the right, right?
Yeah, once you biggie size me.
Oh yeah, hold on. Yeah, I'll get you on there. Let me get this off the screen. There you go.
Right. So if you look, you can see the Green Lantern.
Yep.
Is glued on.
Clearly a stat, yeah.
And he's glued on right there. And right there. And again, I don't know the reasoning. I don't know if he was and even I think this back
Plastic Man on there, that's cool.
Even right back here in the back, his picture hanging on the wall. So that makes me think there may have been a different character there. And they decided to change it to Green Lantern.
Well, you could probably pull up the stat real carefully if you wanted to, but I almost never mess with that kind of stuff personally.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want to. I guess I could put it in the heat press and.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say he.
Let me go back to the slide for everybody. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those 4 pieces reproduced there. I don't know. It's interesting. I never thought about maybe trying to contact Banks and ask him if he remembers. But
either way, another very cool Spectre piece in your collection, but for sure.
And he's somebody I met at a con, and I bought every Spectre piece he had.
Let's get you back on the screen, not a spreadsheet.
Oh, sorry, that's me.
Oh, good. All right, home stretch here. Piece 19. This one is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think most people probably know what it is. It's Bunny Mask. Andrea Moody. Mm-hmm. This is from issue 1, page 5. I've got 5 pieces so far from this series. It was kind of hard to pick which one to highlight, but this one just jumped out at me because of there's so many damn panels on here.
Yeah,
I mean, I like busy pages, and 60. I don't think I've ever seen a standard page.
It's pretty impressive to have a 16 panel layout, and it's colored too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all watercolor. Watercolor and maybe some ink, yeah. But
this is like a newer book, Ruben, that's just came out.
2021.
Yeah. It's a modern
2021.
Yeah.
It's a modern horror book. But yeah, Moody did Parasomnia, which is still out and active, and Maniac of New York. I'm looking at some pages on it right now. But I think book 4 comes out next week, maybe, which would be the end of the first arc.
Really cool.
Page 1 of the first book, when she gets her tooth chipped out, which you see in the last panel on this page.
I love that last panel.
I mean, that's what grabs you and sucks you into the series. When the little girl's dad knocks her tooth out with a chisel. So I actually have that page too. I have the first page.
Nice.
But this one, again, is just, how he can do all that work and that much detail on that size of a page.
There's some talent for sure here. It's great.
I mean, it's an 11 by 17. So.
Oh, you got the page right there? Hold on, I'll take
it.
There you go. There it is. Yeah. Oh, that looks great on your camera, by the way. Looks great.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Really?
Yeah, love his work, and I didn't know about this guy until this series, and I started looking at some of the stuff he's done, in the past, and he's done a lot of good work. It's amazing how you meet an artist for the first time. What brings you to him.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Horror seems to be like the category that within moderns that really kind of is taking off right now. I would say, like, across all the independent publishers, especially.
I'd agree. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we got 2 pieces left here. They're both bangers. This one, let's start with this one.
This is the only commission that I have. It's definitely the only commission that's framed and hung. Again, this is Joseph Michael Lindner.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I found on eBay, but it's one of those pieces I saw and fell in love with. It's dated 2016, and it's his homage to Dawn and Marilyn Monroe, kind of mashing them together. I just saw it and fell in love.
That's exactly correct. Dawn is Marilyn. What's up, Tricky Trapster? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, this one's gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh, you want to give me the zoom on this one?
Oh, yeah, I'll give it to you. Hold on. Let me get this one off. There we go. Yeah, I kind of do want this, but I was in the loop that Scott was getting this the whole time, so I don't think it was possible for me to get it out from under him or anything.
Oh, were you watching this one on eBay?
I wasn't. So, but like, I think you had already kind of either was about to buy it or had just bought it by the time I realized it existed and that, and you told me about it. But yeah, love that one, dude.
And another one of those pieces delicious. That took 2 hours to figure out how to frame it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What colors to use?
Yeah, it looks nice, man.
But it's the same mixed media style. But it's one hell of a commission.
It's awesome. All right, let me get this off the screen. All right, we are just over an hour here, and we're going to wrap up here with your final piece. This is an artist that I would love to have in my collection. 2 artists involved in this that I would love to have in my collection someday, and at this point, do not have an example from either of these artists, so I'm a little jelly here, but that happens from time to time. Anytime I bring somebody on, I'm always jelly of something. And so let's talk about this piece.
It's from Deathmate Prologue. The only reason I bought it is because it was another Valiant piece, and I actually like Deathmate at the time. Looking back on it, it might have been a little silly, but 1993, Deathmate Prologue, page 8, inks by Barry Windsor Smith, pencils by Barry Windsor Smith, right. Ink by Jim Lee.
That's such a cool combination, man.
And signed by both of them.
Yeah, awesome.
So, and it's, the Image character Void and the Valiant character Solar, and then kind of in their first interstellar meeting.
Yeah, Daymare is probably super jelly of this one.
Yeah, everybody needs a Barry Windsor in their collection.
I don't deny that. I wish easier said than done on the titles that I'm a fan of. Unfortunately, I'm not a Valiant guy, really. But yeah, great frame job. Yeah, Jim Lee on inks, and Barry Windsor Smith on the penciling here. So pretty cool.
And Mike Hensler on the lettering. I'm not even sure. Right. Mike Heisler. Again, this is from my first stint into art in the late 90s. Before I got bored and stopped for 10 years. Right. And I don't don't remember. I mean, I think again around $600. I think is what I had to pay for this back then, which was a lot back then.
Yeah, for Valiant, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, for a Valiant page back. Well, Valiant was actually still hot then.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I wouldn't know, but
yeah, Valiant was still hot.
Wasn't in the hobby really, but yeah, that's awesome.
This is kind of my, and I just recently framed this year. It was in a binder, for the last 25 years or however long. Finally seeing light.
Yeah, Jim Lee when he was affordable. That just sounds like a fairy tale at this point.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
I'm pretty sure it's my only artwork by either of these on this one piece.
Well, at least you got it, man. At least it's in the collection. Well, dude, that was a fantastic hour of art share. I appreciate it, you coming on here and sharing with everybody. Hopefully some people catch this on the rewind and appreciate it. Is there anything you got going on that you want to plug? Like I said at the top, you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, you're pretty active on both fronts, I would say, and so you're worth a follow and a subscribe. So please do that. The links are all in the description below. The
only thing I got coming up is next Saturday, the 18th, I'll have my next episode of 7.5 questions.
Yeah, that's your main. That's like your main series that you've been doing.
That's my shit. Yeah. Right now, 7.5 questions. So the next episode is Kenny from Caps on Comics.
Cool.
So that'd be next Saturday at 9 o'clock. And other than that, I'll just be dropping maybe some random unboxing videos or whatever art comes in.
Yeah, you're always pretty quick on those, which is impressive. Like something for me, something comes in and I get, I'll get around to it in like a month or two. It's like I struggle. I struggle.
I can't let things build up and lay around because it'll get
clearly like I got to give another full screen shot of like what you got going on back there. Like you need to triage right away, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But dude, super cool, man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing. Like I said, before we get up on out of here, I will just give a quick mention that the next episode of this version of the show, the old school original art hour, is going to be on Friday, the 24th. That'll be episode number 35 with I Got Issues. And then I failed to make a banner for it or whatever, but on the 20th, Monday the 20th, I'm going to have Mr. Jeff Wedding, who's in the chat right now, on with me, and Tony, I believe, if Tony can make it, for the OA Hour Beyond show. He's going to be coming on, or he's going to be sharing a lot of his Star Wars animation art. I'm going to be unboxing some Star Wars animation art that I picked up as well, which will be fun. And we'll kind of have like a deep dive into animation art from the Star Wars front and some of the nuances and knowledge in that realm from Jeff, who's a big Star Wars art collector and one of the main Star Wars art guys that I talk to these days. So yeah, I mean, yeah, thanks again for sharing the collection, man. I do appreciate it. I will also be at the Comic Art Con this weekend in New Jersey, Sunday. This coming Sunday, the 12th, Comic Art Con in New Jersey. There's going to be a bunch of comic art dealers there and a bunch of collectors from this, area, East Coast, New York, New Jersey area. So I'm looking forward to that. Me and Tony NYC will be hitting that up on Sunday morning. So that's going to be fun. And that's pretty much it. Thanks again, Scott. I appreciate you, brother, for being on the show. And
thanks for having me.
Well, we'll add you to the group chat, and all the future invites for the group shows. So we'll look forward to having you back, and you can share whatever art pickups you want on my channel moving forward when we do those hang shows. Those are my favorite, by the way. Like those are the best. Just getting a bunch of the homies on, doing some art sharing. I love those. So everybody else, appreciate you watching live. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe on the rewind. Stick around for the outro if you wish. Dance, yell, scream. We'll catch you next time. Later, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Where do I begin? I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard this game, I had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call it my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. Been through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, it's not a purse, it's a merch. 6 figures was a gold, now it's 9 or a hearse. Put it work. Used to pull up, not swerve. No time for the snakes, time to put them in the dirt. That's word. I gotta get it, it's in my DNA. You only see the highlights, don't know what it takes. Last year stressing, got no sleep. Now I'm right between the courts, I don't know.